You're watching SKST Radio.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and you are tuned in to the Cammie Grayson Show. And no, this is not the Dr. Ron Show, but he's here anyway. Hey, Dr. Ron, welcome.
How you doing?
All right. So we got some special guests on the show today, all the way from Missouri.
Yeah.
The Mr. and Mrs. Oates. Welcome to the show, guys.
Well, thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're coming to you all the way from West Plains, Missouri.
All right. I love it. I lived in Independence, Missouri for about a year and a half. So I was a person that took care of that Esplanade Mall. I'm not the Esplanade Mall. It was the Independence Mall.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So I was over that for a little while. But they didn't want the little black girl to bring black tenants in, so they kind of.
You speak clear Missouri, huh?
Yeah, that's what it was. So, guys, tell us who you are and why you're here today.
Sure.
Well, my name is Crockett Oaks, and this is my wife, Tonya Oaks, and we're here to talk to you about a project that we have recently embarked upon that is near and dear to our heart. And I hope that by the time we get through talking to you, it's going to be near and dear to your heart too, because it's about preserving Black spaces and in places, Black spaces in places.
In the Ozarks.
In the Ozarks. So this is a rural community here that historically had a pretty moderate Black population, but over time and through just flight to cities for work and et cetera, we were left with a small Black population. There was a few Black historic places left in West Plains. One was the cemetery, the Sadie Brown Cemetery, and the other was Lincoln School. And we recently, I'm pleased to say, my wife and I purchased Lincoln School in an effort to preserve our history in this rural space.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We purchased it from the city of West Plains. It was, although the building was in pretty good shape, it's going to need some work. And we'll talk to you more about that as we go on through the program.
Okay. So what prompted you to purchase the building?
Well, like I said, it was one of those spaces that celebrated our historic lineage in this area. It was the school for African Americans in West Plains during post antebellum and the segregation era of our country. And so we saw the building being used for things that didn't quite celebrate its historic significance for our community. My dad was a part of the graduating class, or the class that ended segregation at that school in 1954 following the Brown versus the Board of Education ruling. And so it has historical meaning for our family and for this community.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's amazing. One question that I have, could it ever be a National Historic Site?
It definitely can. As a matter of fact, that is our plan, to preserve it in a way that will clearly make it eligible to be on the National Registration of Historic Places. And our city is really keen for that to happen. And yeah, we think that we'll be able to accomplish that after we finish our renovations.
Oh, wow. Amazing. So you guys did a little documentary. I'm wondering if we can show that so people will know exactly what's really going on and what you're really doing and trying to accomplish.
We would welcome that. I think that our filming of Lincoln School to kind of solicit cooperation from the community with our fundraising efforts sets out what the space has been for the community for all these years.
Wonderful. Let's roll it.
When I see this photo, I think about
grandma and grandpa there, and how their house used to be right down the street. And grandpa would have a key. He would come in and open up the school and allow for community members to use the space for events. And there, the Lincoln School is right there in the background. Just across the railroad tracks and up the hill at the end of Washington Avenue sits Lincoln School. Although this old space ceased to operate as a school in 1954, following Brown versus the Board of Education ruling, it continues to represent a people and a community in so many tangible and intangible ways. Separate but far from equal was represented at its finest in this space. Although education was highly coveted and desired, there were so many other factors that oftentimes stood in the way of achieving goals. Some would say that it's complicated, but really it was simply a matter of economics. Sure, this space was designed to cater to the African American community, but during this period in our shared American history, survival was not contingent on whether one could read, write, do arithmetic. It was really a matter of one's ability to work. You know, back when Dad was a student here, he always used to talk about how Aunt Shirley and Aunt Mary Frances would help him with his homework and criticize him for not understanding how to do his homework.
And then with them, you having your older sisters, you know,
In the same
class, that might be a little bit intimidating.
That'd be problematic for me, I'm sure. Lincoln School served as the stabilization for a community, a point of pride, achievement, celebration, and at times, a refuge. Former students of Lincoln School went on to be first in many regards. First-generation college graduates, local government officials, war heroes, successful business people, parents, and the list is still growing. Over the years, Lincoln School laurel has faded from our collective memories. However, it hasn't gone anywhere. It continues to stand proudly in its same old place. It's only recently that I have come to understand just how the space has always been there, lurking in the background as life unfolded around it. Those former students of Lincoln School who have moved out of the area are always in amazement to see that it still stands. To say that we want to return Lincoln School back to its original luster would be misleading. We want its restoration to be transformative for the community. Its original use was to serve as a space designed to differentiate a people, separate them from learning together, living together, empathizing together, and just simply forming a basic understanding of one another. Its physical and spiritual transformation will bring people together like never before. This space will once again be a center of learning, but this time it will be a cultural, shared learning experience. Although time has been kind to this space, one can easily see that it's far from its glory days. Attention is required. Like all structures, TLC is needed. Your monetary assistance in the restoration of Lincoln School will be put to good use. Again, you got some water seepage along the walls here. We're thinking that we can shore this up and have this open so that we can see that stairwell walking out.
Sure.
I count 4 windows. It's going to be so neat to open that back up and allow that sunlight to get back in here.
Looks like water over here.
Yeah, it's got some water damage.
But amazingly, it doesn't look like the building's taken on a lot of water up top. Got some wood rot, and you've got some baseboard patchwork. So all in all, it's a pretty solid building.
As you can see, we will need to make a significant capital investment to make Lincoln School a place that can provide the exceptional programming that we are endeavoring to provide. We envision offering guest speakers from all walks of life, video viewing options that will expose our community to global issues from a variety of perspectives, and most importantly, informative dialogue that seeks to challenge our intellect in a stimulating way. Lincoln School serves as a rallying point for the history of our community. Over the past 100 years, Lincoln School has taken care of our community in so many ways. First as a school, then a community center, a VFW post, a life skills center, and finally as the meeting place for Alcoholics Anonymous. The Lincoln School has given so much to our community. Now it's our turn to give back.
Oh, wow. This is such a great mission to be on. I
Thank
mean,
you.
Thank
it's,
you.
I'm not there, but I feel so proud that someone is actually reaching out, doing something for that community. And this is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. We,
Do you guys have a lot of support there?
it feels like we do. We're going to start our capital campaign on August the 25th. We're doing what we're calling, entitling a social media takeover, where we're going to have influencers, hopefully from around the world, primarily in the United States, that's going to be repping our T-shirts and our website and our Facebook page, with the hopes of doing a blitz to try to raise the capital campaign that's needed to save Lincoln School. So that's August the 25th.
All right, close.
Do you have a financial goal in mind?
We do. The old building needs a lot of work, and the quotes that we've received so far has it coming in at about $350,000. So, while we are realistic with our goals of collecting that much during our social media takeover on August the 25th, we want to steadily work towards achieving that goal so we can fully restore Lincoln School to last another 100 years and beyond.
Okay. Well, what can we do to help you guys here in Virginia?
Well, we would love for you to spread the word, primarily on August the 25th. Come up on your respective social media pages. I'd love to get you out some shirts. Come up and ask your friends and associates on the various social media platforms to consider donating towards the cause of saving Lincoln School. I fully acknowledge Lincoln School is not in your community. However, it's our business. It's Black folks' business around the world. And
Now, what city does not have a Lincoln High School though?
Right.
exactly.
We have a Lincoln in Dallas. I know that school.
And the further south you go, the more I think prevalent these one-room schools are. History hasn't been so kind to them because after segregation, a lot of these old buildings were relegated to, some other purpose and or torn down by their community. I'm pleased to say that our community didn't do that to Lincoln School. I think primarily because the building had,
Good bones.
good bones and utility. But most of the people around here didn't even realize it was a Black school. It was for black children during segregation. A lot of that history and memory had been lost. And so while we understand fully that that's a dreadful piece of our American history, we think that it's important to save these spaces and promote these spaces for the history and the value and the lessons that they've taught. And will continue to teach future generations.
Tell us about your celebration plans that you have for the 25th. I'm excited about what your plans are, what you're going to do.
Sure. So we are going to be participating in a number of social media campaigns via Facebook. So we'll ask people to come in and like our Facebook page, post your pictures of yourself in your Lincoln School shirts. You'll see a lot of those from around the world. We've been fortunate and blessed to have some friends, not just here in the US, but in Europe and Africa. So we are looking forward to touching bases with everybody. There also will be other opportunities as we, continue with this process. So this is just kind of the start of the process. And we'll also be looking at other campaigns towards the middle of the year, or actually, I guess around November, December timeframe, with an update. We'll be giving regular updates as to the progress of the Lincoln School. And then once we have completed it, so everybody's like, okay, now what do you do next? Now that the building is finished, it's complete, and then that's when we'll start working on our programming. And our programming will consist of individuals like yourself, whereby we have a podcast, maybe we have conversations about things that are happening in the world, not just here in the Missouri area, but as it relates to folks in general. And then there will also be some opportunities for artists to be able to, showcase their skills, sometimes within the building structure itself, sometimes via podcast. And so that's the arts in general. So that could be music, that could be fashion, that could be,
Nice.
physical painting, so there also is an opportunity for us to do some cooking. So maybe we'll do a little cooking on at the Lincoln School, sharing our heritage on, some of the
soul
foods that
food
we
cooking.
ate
Yeah,
and that we continue to eat. So
yeah. We want
we're not strangers to food here at this house. So
we want for Lincoln School to be a institution that promotes lifestyle and celebrates our past and our lineage all at the same time. And so we want to speak with smart people like you and Dr. Ron to come in and provide some light on subjects that are of national importance. And we think that Lincoln School, through the form of podcast and virtual programming, will be just the space and the place to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're here for you. You have extended family here in Virginia. So
Thank you.
whatever we can do to help, we would love our t-shirts. It's three of us
Yes.
here, and T Nice is in Texas, so his will have to go that way.
Yeah.
But
T Nice is always already on the way.
okay. Hey.
What I will do is get your shirts out to you tomorrow.
absolutely.
Tomorrow.
Well, thank
So
you.
Extra
follow up
large.
with me. Yes, I've got you covered. Follow up with me. Follow up with me on this telephone number. Text me your physical addresses, and I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds
And,
good. Sounds good.
Please feel free to wear it on August the 25th when you come up on your podcast, and help your viewers understand the importance of this initiative in West
Absolutely.
Plains, Missouri.
Absolutely.
And saving more
And I
spaces.
think what we're going to probably try to come up with, I'll see if I can get T Nice to come up with some kind of commercial clip. And in between our podcast, our hosts, we have 5 hosts that's on our network now. We'll get that played as their commercial for that week. And so that way it kind of spark the awareness of what's going on. I think that'll be real good, a way to help
Yeah.
that week.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. We appreciate that.
The last thing I'd love to mention to you all, just as motivation and par for the course, Venus Williams contributed her celebrity and lent her celebrity to the saving of Nina Simone's house. I believe that wasn't in Mississippi, Alabama. It was a southern
south.
state where she grew up, her childhood home. So through her celebrity, they were able to raise over $5 million that was used for the restoration of her home, and then subsequent programming that would happen in that space. And so while we don't have international celebrities such as that, we think that Black folk can come together, all folk can come together based on a shared understanding of what Lincoln School has done in the past and what we plan to do in the future to have just as big of an impact.
Right, right. Another thing came to mind, I think would be really cool if you had, you mentioned you have people from other countries. If you would get them to do like a little clip, we do a clip every holiday, just a shout out that we do every holiday. Just, I'm tuned into SKST Radio. What if we did something like that with everyone who can send in a clip saying, "Save Lincoln School"? donate to Lincoln School. Whatever they, even if they had memories of the school, they grew up in that town, or if they don't, like us, our mission would be, give to Lincoln School. Let's make it happen. Maybe if we could get a round the world type, we are the world type campaign going.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we are
That would be
certainly
really, really good.
we're down like 4 flat tires. We're down. That's a great
I'm
idea.
really excited about what you're doing because if you look at the state of Florida and the state of Texas removing Black history out of the curriculum, everyone will be getting on board, because I think what you're doing is so timely that the momentum that behind let's take back our history will give you the momentum that you're looking for.
Dr. Ron, you hit it on the head. We are not blind to what's going on nationally, and understand how the programming at Lincoln School can become very, very important in order to just share our history in a way that's truly representative of the facts, what's really going on. And there's a lot of watering down and elimination of certain historical facts, critical race theory, whatever you call it. We just want to share who we are, why we are who we are, and where we're at through the lessons learned from Lincoln School. And I'm sure that there's other Lincoln schools around the nation that are trying to do the same thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell people how they can give to the cause.
Sure. So we have Cash App at $ Lincoln School Project, whereby you can give. Please visit our Facebook page, and we are also partnering with the Community Foundation of the Ozarks, which is a program where you can donate on behalf of the Lincoln School Project directly to the foundation. And so we look forward to the support of everyone out there. And we, again, will be posting our information on our Facebook page and on our website. That's at www.lincolnschoolproject.com. And we appreciate you guys' support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So is there any final words of wisdom that you can give to people who's trying to do exactly what you guys are doing?
Oh, excellent question. I would say that you just, regardless of what your financial situation is, involve others. Bring others into the fold to help you with this effort, because it needs to be a shared experience, so that the likes of Lincoln School and other spaces that you're trying to preserve can live far beyond you. Tonya and I, it's not really in our DNA to solicit anybody for anything, really. We're the kind of people that people come to and solicit us for help. But we know that in this effort, that if we didn't involve the community and others of like mind around the world, really, Lincoln School could fall into disrepair again. Lincoln School could be relegated to something that is torn down years later, and all of that history, rich history of our community and our people, is lost.
Yeah. I think about that because I'm in the mall world, right? And so you have malls that are dying and they're being torn down. And even though I'm not from this state, when they were getting ready to tear down Military Circle, the hearts, the way people felt, they grew up in that mall, they were dropped off at that mall, they worked in that mall. And I feel the same way about the school. You are saving the school to keeping it from getting in that direction that the malls are going into. So again, I applaud you guys for what you're doing, your efforts, because it touches a lot of people. You just don't realize it. But like you showed the picture of your dad and your family, it's history, it's roots.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Please feel free to share our webpage. Please feel free to share our video. And we just welcome any type of movement. Anytime we can flap our arms and speak about Lincoln School, the better off we are.
And I would also just add this, that for other people who might be on the show that might be interested in something like that, just a little bit nervous about it, we've come together with a number of different groups and organizations who are like-minded people who are just sharing ideas. And while we didn't have all the answers, and we still don't have all the answers, it's like getting together with other folks who, have that same vision for their city or their town or, their community.
Have these historical spaces in their backyard and
don't
don't quite
know what to do with them.
Don't quite know how to take the step to save them, other than lobby their city administrators. And sometimes that don't get you as far as you need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We're going to invite you back again. Dr. Ron?
Well, we really don't have enough time for me to start asking some questions, but give us one historical fact that you would like people to know about what you're doing and people who came through your school. Almost call it a university.
Dr. Ron, thank you so much for giving me the chance to talk about some of the graduates of Lincoln School. One fellow that I'd like to illuminate here was a 5-time Bronze Star recipient. His name was Jewel Talton. I'll tell his story very quick. Jewel Talton went to graduated from Lincoln School, grew up in West Plains, went to World War II, served as in the segregated army in World War II. He was a supplier. He provided supplies to units that were on the front line. So by the very nature of that role, he would have to go to the front lines to provide those supplies. He was on the beaches of Normandy. He was in Rhineland. He was in all of those places that we read about in our history as hot historical places in World War II. He received 5 Bronze Stars. Jewel Talton is his name. He came back home to West Plains, Missouri after serving his country. And unfortunately, Jewel Talton shortly thereafter was working in the yard. A tree fell on him and it paralyzed him from the waist down. And then 2 years later, he eventually died as a result of that injury. Now, this man went and served in World War II on the beaches of Normandy and came back to West Plains, Missouri, and was struck and hit by a tree branch and subsequently died 2 years later.
Wow.
Lincoln School graduate. I could go on and tell you about Robert Givhan, a Buffalo soldier in World War II, Bronze Star recipient 3 times, has a baseball field in this town named after him, Robert Givhan Baseball Stadium. He was a graduate of Lincoln School, born and raised right here in West Plains, Missouri. And he is a war hero.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
that's amazing. Buried
at Sadie Brown Cemetery here in West Plains, educated at the Black School, Lincoln School, just a lot of rich history. And as we preserve these spaces, I want to talk about these gentlemen and these women. And I want to do more research to illuminate the lives of some of those individuals that we don't even know about, that have been lost through history, lost because their families moved out of the area. And you know how the statistic says that after 3 generations, nobody, even in your own family, will speak your name after 3 generations.
Yeah.
And so we want to ensure that these individuals' legacies live with the backdrop of Lincoln School, where they were educated. We want to ensure that these stories and this legacy lives in our community and beyond.
So I hear a book coming on. Who's putting together this book?
You heard it.
at least a magazine type, something.
We do have some interesting stories that we would love to share about individuals, and we will be updating things in Facebook. And we are aware that there is a journalist that's doing some research of individuals that were educated at Lincoln School to put those essays out, and so we'll be pushing them out through our Facebook page and
Nice.
through our social media pages, just so
I also
everybody.
hear of our family reunion coming back to the Lincoln School.
Yeah,
Ah.
we'd love that. We'd love that. We'd love that. And you are all invited. You're invited.
Definitely.
You got to come.
We will come. If we're invited, we will come.
Definitely.
Most
Well,
definitely.
guys, thank you so much for being on the show. Our time is up. Look like we can talk forever.
Oh, well, I knew when I started asking about the historical, people that came through the school that, that's a whole show in itself.
Yes,
Hey,
absolutely.
get this, guys. Our first Black and female city councilwoman in West Plains, Missouri, came from Lincoln School.
Wow.
Yeah. So
A lot of history.
lots of history, and
Yes, it is.
I think the community will celebrate and put their arms around that history once we
Mhm.
package it and present it in a way that is just sustainable and enduring for us.
I love it. I love it. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Oaks, thank you so much for being on the show today. We're there for you. We're here for you. We will, like I said, do our little campaign next week to kind of do the candle on this end. We all flick our bics at the same time, right? There you go.
Thank you.
We need a time. We need a time that you're going to launch. So that
Yep.
needs to go out so everybody can flick their bic at the same time across the world.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to mail you your shirts tomorrow if you text me your physical addresses to that telephone number. And I have an instruction sheet. It's not too complicated. It's just 3 steps. And that will give you all that you need in order to flick your bic at the same time with us.
Sounds good.
And
Absolutely.
we welcome that. Thank you all.
All right. Okay, guys. Until next week, SKST Radio. Everybody tell the world bye.
Bye.